Alright, it's that time of the day. Let's check the DM, see if we... how is this still happening? I made one video a year ago that just was a few tips. How are these people expecting I know everything about Instagram? Why is this still happening? Why won't they just leave me alone? Yeah, I'm gonna need to make a follow-up video on this. That is right, folks. This is happening. I repeat, this is not a drill. Griff Duncan's Instagram Tips and Tricks 2.0, or whatever this video is going to end up being titled. You'll know because you'll be watching it. Anyways, let me give a brief introduction of myself. If you're new to this channel, my name is Griff Duncan. I run a fitness Instagram that has a fairly large following of about 20,000 plus followers right now. I also run another Instagram of my clothing company that has around like 2,000 to 3,000 followers at the time you're watching this. About a year ago, I made a video on how to grow your Instagram. And my main goal with that video was I didn't want to pretend to be some Instagram guru or anything. I really just wanted to create this one highly searchable video to get my channel traction. Which in hand it did, but the wrong kind of traction, because I was attracting in people that wanted all these informational videos, and I just like making short films, vlogs, concept videos, things like that. So it grew, but it didn't grow with the right audience. So keep this in mind. I don't normally make these types of videos. I'm just making this one as a necessity. If you're gonna think about subscribing, I hope you enjoy the like vlog, film style content. If not, just don't expect these how-to videos to come very often, while I will do them occasionally just to help you guys out. On another side note, don't ever listen to anyone out there whose video is titled like that they know the algorithm, because nobody knows the algorithm unless they personally work for Instagram. I'm not going to say any names, but there's all these YouTube channels out there whose sole purpose is to put out Instagram videos, and the only thing I can compare it to is this scene from The Wolf of Wall Street.
No. Number one rule of Wall Street. Nobody, I don't care if you're Warren Buffett or if you're Jimmy Buffett, nobody knows if the stock is going to go up, down, sideways, or in fucking circles. Least of all stockbrokers. Right? It's all a fugazi. You know what a fugazi is?
No, fugazi. It's a fake.
Yeah, fugazi. It's a wazi, it's a woozy, it's a fairy dust. It doesn't exist. It's never landed. It is no matter. It's not on the elemental chart. It's not fucking real.
So nobody knows how the algorithm works. It's just BS that they're feeding you guys to fuel their channel. Okay, with that being said, that out of the way, I'm gonna be breaking this video down into 3 segments. The first segment is gonna be what has changed since my last Instagram growth video, and it's been a lot in a year, guys. The second segment is gonna be my number one most effective strategy, my number one most effective strategy is going to be number 3. But going back into number 2, the most effective free way that I think you guys can can grow your Instagram. And then number 3, this is the most effective thing. This is the thing that's been driving me lately. Keep in mind, you have to pay for it. It's a service from a company. I know that turns a lot of people off. That's why I'm putting it last. You can still grow for free. This is a company that reached out to me. This video is not sponsored in any way, and that's why it's going to come very last. So getting into it. The first video that I made, it seems like the one thing that grasped everybody's attention in that video was I had all this talk on engagement groups. I'm not going to go into what those are too much. If you want a quick refresher, make sure to watch my last video on those that was made like a year ago. It'll be linked right here. But essentially, it's this conglomerate of groups where people will comment on your photos within the first hour, they're live, and then it will get into the explore feed. You'll get exposure, all that. So what happened was people had this misinterpretation that these groups would just automatically be the trigger for growth. You join this group, you're golden. That's not true, guys. It's just one piece of the equation. So you have to have good content. And I don't mean to come off rude here, but a lot of the accounts that were messaging me, when I would look at their profiles, it was just so self-centered. There was no, everybody says this. I know you probably have heard it 1,000 times. You're gonna wanna throw up. Gary Vee talks about it. You have to give people value, but it's because it's true. So I was doing like informational tips. It had a check mark and an X on it. It would catch people's attention once it got into the explore feed from that fuel for the fire, and then it would in hand grow and get some like crazy analytics, which I'll attach right here. However, From there, I made a follow-up video, basically because I was getting so much demand, probably like 100 messages a day that I still get from you guys. That is crazy. I mean, it's not that much anymore. I'd say it's probably 10 messages a day, but people just wanted to be in this group, and I was like, well, I can't put you guys in my group because it's a fitness group, and there's like strict requirements and all that. So what I did was, for $25, I was building groups for people, and I would just I had 3 different niche groups. I would filter you into the group that I thought best fit you. There was an application process. It was selective. I didn't want to just let anybody in there. And it was going great, and I made a good amount of money doing it. But what happened was Instagram stopped the engagement groups. They did not work anymore. I am not currently in one. I haven't been in one for the past 8 or 9 months. So I eventually just stopped offering this service. I let people, the groups are still active, I guess. I don't monitor them. I don't do any of that. I don't check in on them. It's not a service that I offer anymore because I'm never going to sell you something that is not going to work. That is just a terrible idea. You can yield short-term returns, but it is terrible business-wise, and it will not get you anywhere, and it will just be just don't do it. Don't sell people something that's not going to work. So I realized these engagement groups weren't working anymore, and as a result of that, my following had grown pretty stagnant. My engagement was going way down, which it still is pretty down, but I'll get into that later. So from there, I had this email from this company essentially saying they saw the video, they wanted to help me grow, and that's what I'll be talking about. Third, they just wanted me to promote their product. I was like, listen, I don't make videos on this, but let me make one more video. I'll make one more video in the future if I try your product. I think it works. That's what's going to be coming last at the end of this video. But going into tip number 2, or segment number 2, the one thing that I think is the best way to grow for free right now on Instagram is hashtags. Yeah, you heard it. It's right. This is something I caught wind of literally within the last month, maybe even 2 or 3 weeks. Is somebody messaged me on Instagram and he's like, dude, why aren't you using hashtags? And I was like, are you kidding? They're spammy. They make your profile look terrible. They don't do anything. He's like, yeah, but they work again. And I'm going to attach some of my current reach from my fitness account here. As you can see, it's pretty awful. The account has 23,000 followers or so, and it's only getting about 10,000 reach at the most on a post. And the difference between your reach and your impressions are, I can have 30,000 impressions and 10,000 reach. Reach is what matters, because somebody can see that post and then they'll go back and look at it again, so that's an impression. So essentially, someone, if they really like the post, will view it 4 times, that's 4 impressions, but in reality, it's only been seen by 1 person. Now, if you notice right here on this screenshot that I'll attach, the one trigger that's been tracking in a lot of accounts are these hashtags. We're getting in 1,000 to 2,000 more reach, which is crazy because that's a 10% growth, even a 20% growth of people that are seeing my posts in some instances. And if you'll notice, Instagram has incorporated these different, if you go into your Explore feed, it will be fitness, health, lifestyle. And I think, I'm just speculating, that the way that they're placing accounts into what fits in there is based on what kind of hashtags they're using. So if I'm using a bunch of fitness hashtags, they're going to put me in that fitness niche in the Explore feed that will get people to click on that, go in there, see that. Oh, I'm out of breath. Give me 1 second. Okay, we're back. Anyways, getting back to where I was, that will get people to go in there, trigger your account as a fitness account. Maybe you make music, you'll be a guitar player, it will trigger into music, things like that. So the one rule that I have for that is if it has around 100,000 reach, 100,000 uses of the hashtag or less, I'll use it. If it has anything above that, I typically will not use it, because say a popular one with fitness is hashtag Fitspo, Fitspiration. That has 14 million tags. The odds of you getting on the map with that tag are so minimal. So it's really crucial that you're using hashtags that have low usage right now. So about 100,000 or less is my golden rule. And once you put in one hashtag, it will give you more recommendations, so it will get easier, things like that, and you can break it down to see how much you're bringing in from certain hashtags. The one thing I've noticed is that they'll grow over time, and that's good because that means that you're getting the top post on that specific hashtag. One trick is to add an S to the end of something. So let's say I'm doing a back workout, I do hashtag back day or hashtag back workouts. that has so much volume already. So just add an S to it. Hashtag back days, hashtag back workouts. And you'll notice the volume will be a lot lower, but it will still be enough to get you some traction. Okay, this video has been a lot longer than I was anticipating it to be, but we're gonna move into number 3. This is the paid way that I am not personally paying, but it is a paid service. This I know is going to turn a lot of people off, so you can just X out of this video if you want to. I don't like sponsored videos. This isn't even a sponsored video. I'm not getting paid money to say this, but I'm all about transparency. So this is what's going down. I think this was in May. I was reached out to by a company called Kicksta, and they specialize in essentially getting your account to like a bunch of basically they'll get you followers by having your account like triggered audiences that follow similar accounts to yours. I don't know, that's kind of a confusing way to do it. And I actually went on a conference call with one of the representatives. I did some more research on them. They were featured in Forbes. They were a legitimate Instagram growth company. It's not some kid sitting there being like, pay me $100 a month to grow your Instagram. They know what they're doing. And as you can see, these are my analytics. Obviously, not nearly as good as they were a year ago, but this is what we're looking like with people coming to my profile every day. I would say I gain about 300 followers a week just from the way that they're doing this. I actually am running it on my clothing company one as well, and I've generated a few sales with it. Now keep in mind, this is not going to be this is just one fuel to the fire, just like the engagement groups were that I was talking about earlier. This is not going to be an end all. It's not going to grow you like crazy. It's just one element that you can use to grow your account. And it's been working really well. Like I said, it's generated a few sales, but you need to have a good feed. Everybody can have a good feed nowadays. There's so many people that just have these really good looking Lightroom edits, but it's what separates you. How are you contributing value to your audience? I know you guys are sick of hearing that, but it is just so true. And then, so if you want to try that out, you can click on a link down below. I am not a representative for them or anything. They offered me a code so that I would get 50% of any commission, but I'm really not interested in that. I just wanted to be transparent with you guys with how I have been growing. I'm not in this for the money. This video is not sponsored, like I said before. I just want to share with you guys how I've been growing. So without further ado, I'm going to wrap this video up. I know I just went on one tangent. It was all in one take. I hope it makes coherent sense when I edit it together. That's gonna wrap this one up. If you guys are new to the channel, please make sure to leave this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you are interested in the type of content that I'm pumping out. Thanks so much, guys. Have a good one, and stay tuned for the upload next week.